Friday night, musclecarsandtrucks.com/Gears and Beers show. I'm Jason. I got Chris over here. I got Manny down here. We're back at you for another hour of awesome automotive news stuff.
The Power Hour.
The Power Hour of automotive.
But but what are we drinking, though?
Exactly. We always have to start off with the episode of what we're drinking.
If you're watching this and you haven't already, and it's Friday night, and if it's your thing, grab a beer, join us, enjoy your cup of coffee or soda or mineral water or whatever you like. I'll kick it off. I'm drinking Southern Grist Mixed Greens. It's another Nashville brewery down here. I tell you what, coming from Michigan with lots of great breweries, everybody knows Michigan has great beer, but coming down here and living here in Nashville for the past 5 years, some great breweries have popped up. I'm usually drinking Bearded Irish home style, but this time I got my hands on one of my favorites, Southern Grist Mixed Greens Double Dry Hopped. Some powerful stuff here.
Ooh, what's the ABV on that one?
Did I have this last time? I couldn't join last week.
I do remember you drinking this once or twice.
Well, it's because it's pretty powerful stuff, and I forgot. It's not that bad. 6.2%, but I tell you what, it's got a good hoppy balance. Very citrus. I mean, look at. Let's see here. Where's my flashlight? Here, hold on. There we go. There. Look at how citrusy that is. Yeah. And it was just a few guys that said, "Hey, let's start making some beer." And next thing you know, they got 4 years later, they got a tap room and all that. So they've grown very, very well.
Very nice.
Manny, what you drinking tonight, buddy?
I am drinking another beer from Shorts, and I happen to bring the whole pack down here with me. It's called Slurm Lord.
Eee.
This is look at that.
Is that Patrick Swayze?
Patrick Swayze. So it's a double New England IPA, and
Lord,
yeah, it's like your beer, Jason. Look at that. Flashlight.
Oh, nice and hazy. God, I love a hazy IPA.
Very, very hazy.
Very.
So I am enjoying it. This is another just hit, a big swing from Shorts.
Nice.
Awesome. You seem to like Shorts a lot.
Well, Kroger sells it.
It's good
Ease
stuff.
of access.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chris, the lighting in your studio is looking spectacular. I gotta say, it does. It looks good, man. It looks real good. What you drinking tonight?
Well, for me, it is still
my freaking light.
hop slam season.
Oh man, there we go.
It is still winter.
It is still winter, so here we go. Double IPA, 10%. Michigan honey. It doesn't get any better than this right now.
My mom still has honeybees there in Michigan.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
some fresh honey.
All right. Looks like we're starting to get a few folks viewing.
Hello, everybody.
So, thank you for joining us on my YouTube channel, but don't forget to head over to the musclecarsandtrucks.com YouTube channel and subscribe there.
My watch too. It says Muscle Cars and Trucks is now live.
Look at that awesome logo. Cool. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about how awesome we are, because we are, but we're here to talk about the weekly recap of automotive news that you might have missed if you're not already a regular subscriber of musclecarsandtrucks.com email newsletter, which is free and goes out every morning, and you can read it in 10 seconds or less.
Boom.
But we're gonna talk about the highlights of it. So, Manny, what would the lead story be for this week's episode of Automotive News?
So there was a big debut this week from Jeep, but before we get into that, there was even more startling news, let's say, regarding the Chevrolet Camaro. And as it turns out, the global semiconductor shortage has kind of reared its ugly head into GM's performance vehicles. So the entire Lansing Grand River assembly plant is forced to shut down basically for the rest of the month.
Wah, wah.
At least for the rest of the month.
Well, and this isn't strictly GM either. This is happening across the gamut with other automotive manufacturers. So it's not like, oh man, we're just going to shut down Camaro, we're going to just shut down Lansing Grand River. I mean, we've got this microchip of shortage that's going on,
and GM's been kind of hit pretty hard by it. They've had to shut down several plants, but they haven't, thankfully, full-size trucks, heavy duties, and SUVs have somehow been able to like skirt that. So where the money makers are still being allocated, you could say that maybe GM has a trickle of semiconductor supply happening right now, but it's all being allocated to the big money makers, and so that means
that's business.
Yeah,
it's business. It's business.
It really doesn't have as much to do with the Camaro itself. It's just them diverting resources to where it's most profitable.
At the moment, that seems like the case. At the moment, that seems like the case. And we also have the Cadillac vehicles to consider too, CT4, CT5, and their respective variants. And that includes the upcoming Blackwing variants that are very exciting. And those performance sedans were revealed last month. I believe 668 horsepower CT5V Blackwing. Close to and then I think it's 470 something, 480 ballpark horsepower for the CT4V Blackwing. Same engines as before for relative to ATS-V, CTS-V. And what we don't know if that's going to mess things up yet. But a delay is a delay is a delay. So if you can't build the cars, even like if you can't even go through like validation sequences on the assembly plant because you're missing a part, that sort of log jams everything again, right? So, last year the auto industry had to deal with COVID-19 starting about a year ago, right?
Exactly.
And now you had this thing, semiconductor shortage started at I want to say like the beginning February maybe. And we don't know how long it's going to last, frankly. So everyone's working with their suppliers, which what else can you say at this point, right? It's just So, we're going to monitor this and stay tuned to musclecarsandsTrucks.com for the latest on all the latest, semiconductor semiconductor shortages and how that affects both the pickup truck and American performance car scene.
There you go.
And
so if they want to see the article's right there, front and center on musclecarsandsTrucks.com. The title is Chevrolet Camaro Production Halted. Manny, let me pick your brain a little bit on this. Let's say that this, first of all, could this semiconductor shortage continue long term?
We had 2 weeks to flatten the curve last year, right?
Yeah, and it's a year later.
That's a fair answer to that question. So, second question, if it is long term, let's just be honest here, could the Camaro be threatened more than what it may already be based on previous musclecarsandsTrucks.com reports?
I don't want to say yes.
Could.
But it
could. Not will it, but could it?
I don't want to say yes. I mean, the thing about delays are delays. So in the auto industry, so far as what that means is that it doesn't necessarily like cut something short by a year. It pushes it back and it ripples through. And then eventually, like when you get farther in the timeline, that ripple, like in real physics, loses its energy and it stops affecting something that's far away.
Very well said.
Right. So, but what short and medium term stuff, like that's all going to be disrupted, especially again, as this goes longer. Here's an example. COVID delayed the Blackwing Cadillacs by 6 months last year. And like they weren't supposed to be revealed in, February 1st. They were supposed to be revealed last year. The Ford Bronco, another example, was supposed to be revealed about this time a year ago and then got pushed to June roughly. And then the launch was supposed to happen already and that got pushed to summer. So, every vehicle is dealing with different levels of adversity, and the high profile ones, obviously you get the attention of it. And again, we've got all the details on that stuff on Muscle Cars and Trucks, including the Bronco delays, Blackwing delays. We were actually the first on the Blackwing delay stuff. The Ford Bronco, ironic, like the semiconductors, one supplier with one part is what's holding up the entire process. So, and again, like as vehicles become more complex, and people like to use the word sophisticated. I like to use the word complex. And I think that as they become more complex, it's just more stuff that goes wrong. It's harder to narrow down. It's harder to fix. And, the scary part is, like, the cars should be getting simpler, but they should be, but they're, unfortunately, because of, like, largely due to regulatory factors, they're forced to be more complicated. And so, like, that ends up just constantly, like, the industry's tying itself in a knot, has to untie itself, ends up tying itself in another knot, unties itself again. But eventually, like, the knots seem to be getting tighter and tighter.
Well, something just surfaced in my brain. You said that they go from, there's two words to be used: sophisticated and complex. Mm-hmm. But you combine the two together, guess what you get?
You get complicated.
You get complicated. Let's do this. Let's shift gears. This is a great segue into what you started talking about, which is the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, and all of the freaking screens across that dash. Oh my God. How can they make those screens happen on this high-level, high-visibility vehicle with a semiconductor shortage?
That is a great question.
But it looks good.
It looks good. I haven't seen it in person. We were able, Muscle Cars and Trucks was able to attend the virtual backgrounder event, and we were able to get a sneak peek. We were able to do some Q&A and really get some insight on, how they got all these screens. And wow. if you look closely on Grand Wagoneer,
oh, they look good though.
You'll actually notice that there's a screen. There's a screen on the passenger side dashboard.
On the passenger side. Where's the damn airbag? Right now.
And it's right. Where's the airbag? But there is an airbag. And that screen is actually flush with the entire piano black finish there. And again, and then you go in the center stack, right? There are two screens. The top one controlling, like, your radio and everything, and the bottom does HVAC, seat controls, and seat massage. That screen actually opens up and reveals, like, storage, USB-C, USB-A, and it's just like it's crazy. The sort of sophistication.
Sophistication.
Crazy.
Well, that sophistication also has a very sophisticated price tag.
It does. So this is the most expensive Jeep we've ever seen. It's actually the most expensive SUV that FCA, Stellantis, however you want to call them, came out with. So
I've skimmed the articles, but I didn't see the price. What's the estimated price?
So if you wanted the fully option one, you're looking at over $111,000.
107,980.
107,980 for the highest level Grand Wagoneer. Yep. And it can get even higher with options. That's Escalade money, by the way. So, like, people are like, "Oh, this is going after the Yukon." It's like, no, this is going after Lincoln Navigator and Cadillac Escalade. And I think, so like, the Escalade is the Escalade, and it's the Escalade for a reason. It's an icon, and I think they did a great job with this. They did a massive like endeavor with this OLED screen that they are offering standard in the cabin. The Grand Wagoneer doesn't have that, but instead it offers just, like, all of the screens all the time, and it also offers Amazon Fire TV, which GM doesn't yet, Ford doesn't yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
because you
Stop.
know.
Stop.
Yes.
We've already got enough distractions on the road with people beating their children and texting and everything else. Last thing we want is somebody to catch up on Orange is the New Black reruns.
Yeah,
while
but
they're going down the highway.
If you're doing it from the second row with the Rooster Entertainment System, which is where you can access the stuff, is
great.
Like,
now we're gonna have people climbing into the back seats while they're doing 90. I'm just kidding.
So here's the cool thing, actually, because they did think about this. Those screens on the right side, like in the passenger side,
Chris, could you show that again?
Yeah.
So that passenger side screen in the front, the passenger can watch movies from there. However, it's protected. Jason, it's protected by a privacy film. So, like, the driver can't even tell that there's a screen there. So you actually got the passengers looking at the dashboard like a zombie because they're just
maybe.
Like, what are you looking at? Can't tell.
Maybe I'm just cynical, or even call me negative, but how's that really? First of all, somebody's going to hack that. They're going to have a reverse polarity film they can lay over it, so now you can watch, reruns of 2.5 Men while you're driving. Because what'd you say, Chris?
I said reruns of Hogan's Heroes.
Ooh, even better. Or I was going to say my wife, but she can hear me. So somebody's wife going, I don't want to watch this, and I don't know how to change the channel. Can you put on Netflix? I want to watch Netflix. Hold on a second. Let me just fidget with that. Oh, guess what? I'm ass packing somebody at 75 miles an hour on I-75.
Well, they might not be able to do that if the ECU is encrypted.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big story, though, right? I'm sorry. I'm very cynical because the more things like this advance, the more I don't trust the person that's doing highway speeds behind me to pay attention. I have a personal concern about that.
So driving, like before we got on air, I was driving from somewhere and I caught in my rear view, like, and you obviously know how you see someone at the light kind of coming at you a little too quickly. Oh yeah. And sure enough, like maybe a 17-year-old just
needs to get their ass kicked.
And I was like, I should get out of the car right now and like verbally abuse a minor.
We're not going to advocate such things. We advocate conscientious drivers and all that shit. Kick his ass. Kick his ass, Manny.
One of these days. One of these days.
The older I get, the more I realize that it's better to let things go and go home safe and happy, and realize that the other person sucks at life and has to live with themselves forever.
You go home safe, but you're not necessarily happy.
I mean, you just, at the end of the day, you just hope that they don't affect you.
Yeah. Right?
But unfortunately, they also vote, and that has dire consequences.
Breathe the same air that we breathe. And what's worse, voting or reproducing? Another episode. Okay, so the Grand Wagoneer is the flagship, the echelon of Jeep. Now, I've had my Jeep Grand Cherokee since I bought it new in 2012. And even though I don't even own it, technically my wife, actually legally my wife owns it. She made me sign it over to her because I think she wants to run away. But no, she's like, I want it in my name. I want it to be my vehicle. I'm like, all right, I'll sign it over. And bought it in 2012. It's been a great vehicle. I love my Grand Cherokee. I really do. I drive my new 2020 Colorado. It's a great truck, but I still miss my Grand Cherokee. And that was the Laredo. It wasn't even like the Limited or anything like that. And I think I paid 40 some odd and change before I beat the crap out of the dealership on it. It's been a great vehicle for me, really. And when I look at this Grand Wagoneer, I'm like, this is 10 years of evolution from my Jeep Grand Cherokee into this Grand Wagoneer, and it shows the evolution of technology. It's unbelievable, and it's doubled, triple, almost 2.5 times the price. Man, you had that Escalade, right?
I did.
The diamond
Um,
platinum.
it was not a platinum. It was
worse.
just, right. It was like it was a premium luxury. It was just under.
And how much was the sticker on that?
Like 100 even.
Yeah, it was close to 100.
Okay.
I was going to say.
So this is a few bucks more.
Can be. So like there's the Wagoneer and then there's the Grand Wagoneer. Kind of like how there's Yukon and Yukon Denali. I think is how they're playing that. So the people at Jeep, if you look closely, you will not see the Jeep name on the Wagoneer or Grand Wagoneer anywhere.
No.
And
It's Wagoneer.
It's Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. And so like,
Grande
Wagoneer Grande.
No. I went German. You went Italian. I went Volkswagen. You went Lamborghini.
Well, come on, Fiat. So
it's a good-looking vehicle, right?
It's a good-looking vehicle. And by the way, Jason, did you see the new Grand Cherokee?
I don't think enough to be able to make a formal opinion on it. I've seen bits and pieces from the articles that you guys have written.
I think the Grand Cherokee hits the design language a little better.
Is this the same platform?
No.
So it's different.
So
it looks like it's got a wider center console.
The Grand Cherokee is built in Detroit on Jefferson. And that's where they also built the Durango, and they're incorporating a new architecture with the WL series Grand Cherokee. The Grand Wagoneer is legit a full-size SUV. It's Tahoe size. It's Escalade totally size. It's huge, and it's totally different.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
But they're building it in Warren at the Ram plant. It's a body-on-frame SUV, and as much as, it's assumed. Here's the thing. Unless you are really on the inside with this one, it's like people assume that it's based on the Ram 1500, kind of like how the Tahoe is based on the Silverado, loosely, roughly, etc.
Sure.
And it's kind of the same way, but again, during the background, they're like, oh no, it's a whole new architecture, a whole new chassis. I was like, come on, guys. Like, it can't be that different. It can't be. It has to be revised, updated, perhaps massaged. But like, you're building it in the same plant as you are your trucks. And I understand that like there's flexible lines and things like that, but it just would make sense to utilize the Ram DT architecture.
I guess. I look at it though. It starts at 20. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. The 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, according to the article written yesterday on Muscle Cars and Trucks, starts at $57,999. Starts at $60,000. Can basically double. That's the delta. Starts and ends $60,000. 100 and what would you say? Is that 107?
Yeah, 107 okay. With options 111.
All right, so it can double. That's a massive, massive delta for now. What I'm understanding, forgive me. This is how in tune I can be with my time. Is that I thought it was built on the Grand Cherokee platform. It was just an upper level Grand Cherokee, totally different vehicle. Mm-hmm. Gosh, at the starting price of $60,000. Holy crap! Is there really a market for this thing? Well, I guess a Cadillac and Lincoln has it.
Yeah.
I guess why can't Jeep, right?
I mean, so the margins in the segment are pretty wild, and it's unique to American automakers that they absolutely throttle everybody in this space.
Yeah.
They actually end up competing. I mean, they compete with each other. Oh. Everyone's like, oh, the Cadillac Escalade competes with the Mercedes GL. I was like, no, it doesn't. It does not. The customer's not the same. It will never be the same. This is uniquely Americana. This is uniquely a customer that loves body on frame SUVs. They love something that's big and that can tow. They love V8 engines. They love this sort of like, you know, have your cake and eat it too. This size, the opulence, you know, and this is also something that America, I think, does best. In almost every single industry, every single facet of business, America is really good at giving you a lot of vehicle for the money, right? So like, or a lot of any, a lot of,
I don't know about that.
No, listen, a lot of everything for the money. Okay, so you've got you've got vehicles like Yukons and Wagoneers and Expeditions and Navigators and pickup trucks, and then like, you know, on a price point, you go and shop import, and you have to go almost a whole segment down. Almost every time you're going for a smaller vehicle or a vehicle of a similar size but with far less power. Say Porsche 911 to Corvette, right? So like, why, you know, the funny thing here, the Porsche guys, they like, if they want to get snobby, they're like, oh, you know what they say about Corvette people, don't you? I said, no. They go, well, it just means they can't afford a Corvette. I was just like,
a Porsche?
Or
you mean
yeah,
you mean a Porsche?
Oh yeah, it's like, you know what they Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I ruined the joke.
That's
it's
okay.
like, oh yeah, they
Right.
can't afford a Porsche, and I was just like, all right, a-hole. Like, it's like, you know what they say about the you could just call Porsche people suckers because like they're willing to pay that premium and lose out on power, lose out on cylinder count, lose out on torque, you know, lose out on size, like lose out on all this stuff because you bought the badge. But like, again, you look at the American vehicles, they're able to sell you a whole segment bigger, and it's in a lot of ways like the same price, sometimes a better price, and it, you know, it could be a better car. There's you know, like, and then if you want to like transcend industries, look at food, right? Look at like McDonald's.
What?
Look at McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. Like, we are really good. America is really good at feeding billions of people for nothing. Like, or not nothing, but like, you know,
massive crap is what we're doing.
And we're you know, eventually quality drops, absolutely. But like, this is just like it's an American concept, and it's McDonald's, trucks, McMansions.
You're not helping. You're not
Costco.
You're not hurting the Porsche argument here.
I think it's yeah, it is expensive. It really is. We're gonna have more on we're gonna have more on the Wagoneer coming up. We actually I want to talk like a little later in the show, but we had a couple of interviews with the CEO and North American Vice President of Jeep, which we were able to get tons of stuff. We were very, very busy this week with interviews, so it's looking like next week we're going to start to publish the articles.
Okay, cool. That's great news. So here's the deal.
It was real busy.
For everybody watching who's interested in Jeep news, this isn't even the guts of it. The Wagoneer, which I love the little American flag by the Wagoneer logo that Chris, you just showed, by the way. Mm-hmm. I think it's a nice touch. It looks good. It fits. Next week, Manny, are you saying next week is when things are going to start coming out?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get some stuff out this weekend, and then, you know, as promised last week, we did talk with Reeves Callaway, and that was a 45-minute. Yes.
Whoa, the Reeves Callaway.
The Reeves Callaway, Corvette Sledgehammer Reeves Callaway.
Whoa, yep. The legend himself.
Yes, and that was a 45-minute conversation I will not forget.
All right. Oh, so if you could sum it up in one sentence, what's Reeves Callaway like? Is he a cool dude?
He's a huge personality. I can't wait to talk to him again.
Nice,
hopefully see him. And that was
yeah. Is that a hint?
Yes, but that
all right.
if the LA Auto Show happens, we're gonna go. I'm gonna call Reeves and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds awesome.
We got some very cool sound bites. We got some very cool details on the ins and outs of Callaway cars, and also the latest on his products. Supercharged Chevy Silverado, Camaros. What's the latest on the Corvette? If there's going to be any sort of Callaway Corvette program, if there's going to be a follow-up to the Sledgehammer.
Oh, really?
Is there going to be a
follow-up? They did the Sledgehammer in the 90s, right?
Was
it 80s or 90s?
That was maybe early 90s or late 80s, yeah.
Yeah. And they've never done another Sledgehammer.
No. Not even close.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Speaking of 80s, remember the TV show called Sledgehammer? Anybody?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Sitcom comedy, cop comedy. Anyway. So lots of stuff happening next week after this episode is released about the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, about Callaway cars next week. So for all you watching this, give or take, when you do, share this on your socials that musclecarsandtrucks.com is going to be revealing more Jeep Grand Wagoneer stuff, a whole slew of Callaway stuff. Callaway's sounds like they're not slowing down in any stretch. They're not resting on their laurels.
No. And
what else is coming
by the way,
out?
like Reeves is like in his 70s. And the guy's still just kicking ass.
Man, he got a question for you. I saw a lot of people on my social media sharing this week that there's going to be another reveal of a Hummer on April 3rd. What's that all about?
Yes, there's going to be a reveal of the Hummer EV SUV.
Oh, okay.
No, not a truck bed.
Correcto. So like the
wagon.
You remember the Hummer H2, H3.
Yeah.
Something like that. We knew that this was coming a year ago. GM teased it officially last year, and they even they revealed it low key during I think it was like a Barclays event where it was legit just like in the background, but there was no like real other detail, just like, okay, I mean, and like, what's the point, right? It's like, so what's the harm in that? You knew that the SUV was coming, and like, there's the SUV. What more could possibly come from that? Nothing. It's not a big deal. So like, I want to know, like, on April 3rd, what sort of details we're going to see. If we're going to see maybe like they're probably going to do more reservation. They're probably do like more reservations. I want to see if like maybe they learned a little bit from last year and how that's going to play. And I want to know like what that looks like, and I want to see if we can get maybe more like details on like production numbers, torque, launch dates, options, accessories, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We had a very insightful conversation with the Hummer team, and we had a lot of good details. We have a lot of good details on Muscle Cars and Trucks that they were written like last year and early this year, because that's how long ago it was. But like we caught, we got details on disclosing that there's no parts shared with any other GM vehicle for the Hummer EV. This is a completely new ground up design. And that, when's the last time you were able to say that about any GM vehicle?
The Camaro. The Camaro had less than 10% of shared components. Guess who was behind that car? Al Oppenheiser.
Big Al himself.
Behind the Hummer.
Al
Oppenheiser.
Yep.
Let me say this. I'll go on record right now, and I will defend this. I'll defend this with through a fist fight. If somebody said, "Hey, Chevrolet's bringing back the Chevette," and Al Oppenheimer behind it. I'm like, that son of a bitch is going to be awesome. The citation with the vertical stereo. If Al Oppenheimer's behind it, damn it, that's going to be a great freaking vehicle. Mark my words, this is going to be phenomenal.
Man, I really like.
I'm saying it.
I think it's gonna do well. It's got a lot of. Honestly, the Hummer EV is a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the news today, specifically about coming out of GM, saying that that they're aiming to produce EVs that have a range of 500 to 600 miles and stuff like that today.
That is based on the recent announcement that they're already sort of disclosing a little bit of detail on their next generation battery technology that they branded as Ultium. And
Ultium.
Yes, which is also the same name as horse food, by the way.
What? Horse food?
Yeah, there's a horse food called Ultium.
Interesting. Jason's going to Google it.
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh, there's also Ultium Gastric Care. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a horse feed. Yeah, okay, same thing. Yeah.
It's right. Yeah. GM, man. What are you gonna do?
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna call Purina, because I think that's who's behind Ultium. I don't know, or whatever, and say, hey, here's a few $1 million. We're gonna use your name for a car thing and stop using it for your horse gastric care for your horses. And yeah, it is Purina. Purina. Oh God.
Interesting.
What are you gonna do?
That's exactly right. Oh man. There are certain things in life that don't get the credit. There's probably a term for this, and I can't think of it right away. But it's the start of something that doesn't get enough notoriety or credit, but what it becomes or what it influences is what's more notable. I really think that Tesla, where it's at today, and where Hummer is at where it is today, excuse me, is that it's probably not gonna it's probably gonna be overshadowed by the results that it influences. You know what I'm trying to say? Like right now, GM's really ballsy with the Hummer. They were really ballsy with bringing back the Hummer name after they had to shut down all those Hummer dealerships because of gas, 12 miles per gallon.
It was very. This all happened at a very politically convenient time, right?
Sure. GM, very politically charged.
It was very politically charged. So you had high gas prices, not unlike today.
Yep.
You had a new administration. You had the Obama administration, Vice President Biden at the time. And
that was my Scott Settlemeyer expression, by the way.
And you had the just this growing negativity around SUVs, and at the core of that specifically was Hummer because they were the biggest.
Yeah.
And they had the stones to bring it back.
I would almost compare it to like the cancel culture of today. It's like Hummer canceled. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, guys, is like the market wants what the market wants. And even in Europe, where people are quote unquote more sensible, you're seeing signs of this in the muscle car market, where the Ford Mustang was recently the lineup was recently altered in Europe. And they actually killed off the EcoBoost engine in Europe, where they have outrageous emissions taxes, road taxes, all this stuff, because the Mustang V8 was outselling the Mustang EcoBoost.
Is that a get it while you can because we're all afraid?
No,
Kind of like an ammo shortage that's going on right now.
I don't think so because, like, okay, so the S550 generation Mustang has been around for 6 years now, and that car was designed from the ground up to be a global Mustang, and it was designed from the ground up to support a 4-cylinder engine and to drive well with a 4-cylinder engine. I've driven Mustang EcoBoost. I've driven it on the track, and I almost feel like the entire chassis was built around the EcoBoost engine in some cases. And then you drive like a Mustang GT, and I'm just talking the GT. I'm not talking GT Track Pack. I'm not talking Bullet. I'm not talking Mach 1. And I'm definitely not talking about the Shelbys, because the Shelbys are completely different animals. But a Mustang GT, honestly, ain't good. There's a lot of weight transfer. It rolls a lot, and it's just kind of like it just kind of sucks. Especially again compared to Camaro, it's not that good.
Those fighting words, man.
So but as a GT car, and we want to just talk about livability, you want to talk about just being a GT car, that's where the Mustang GT excels. It's not a track car. But going back, right? I think what's happening in Europe is that if you've got the coin and you want an American car and all that implies, you are going to get the V8 engine.
Yeah. So
I think that's what is, because what is a Mustang? Like if you live in England, or if you live in France, or you live in the Netherlands or Germany, and you have a Mustang, and you have a 4-cylinder Mustang.
So if you're going to do it all the way is how they for these vehicles, and it's also maybe these are expats. Maybe I'd love to look a little closer onto who is actually buying these cars. But it's clear to me that demand for big cars and big engines exists. Uh-oh.
Did we lose Manny?
Uh-oh. I think we lost Manny.
Oh, boy.
Let's take this moment for station identification. I'm Al Kaline. This is the Detroit Tigers baseball game, coming at you live from WXYZ in Detroit. That's not bad, huh? From memory.
Old school.
Yeah. God, I used to love listening to Tiger games on the radio. I still do. I like listening to hockey games on the radio, too, because I can watch the game in my head. So, seriously, though, let's see. Wyatt One Able. Good to see you again, my friend. I just wanted to acknowledge that we saw you a bit ago in the chat. Thank you very much for joining the show. Manny's expression is of sheer bliss.
Yes.
He looks like he's listening to Enya right now. Oh, he's gone.
Awesome.
And he's gone. All right, so I'll carry the torch from here. So we're talking about a lot of cool things. One being the politics of General Motors and all that junk.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Manny real quick about this news. Did you see it today that said that in 2019, Mary Barra tried to sell the headquarters, the Renaissance Center.
What?
To Dan Gilbert.
So it's funny you bring that up, because I happen to notice, it sounds unrelated, but it is related. I used to work for Dan Gilbert, right? Yeah. In fact, one of our close friends still does, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And one day, I shared an elevator ride with Mr. Dan Gilbert, none other than himself. And I'll never forget it, just because I was like, holy crap. And I walked into an elevator with Dan Gilbert, my ultimate boss. And they always say, billionaire Dan Gilbert. Yeah. If I was a billionaire, I would wish that they didn't throw billionaire in front of my name. Just let my name stand as it's. Anyway, his net worth in last year in 2020 was $7 billion. His net worth in 2021, $70 billion since he took Quicken Loans public, of which I bought stock in. And, yeah, because I worked for him for 3 years, and I believe in his family companies. It was really neat to see that, and the fact that Dan Gilbert was Mary selling or pitching that idea because GM was hurting and needed the money?
I don't know. I didn't read too much, but I think they just wanted to kind of like offload the building because GM owns the Renaissance Center.
Yeah.
But then as of today, the quote that came out that says they're stationed near the Detroit River and that is their headquarters. So I don't know.
I got to work in the Ren Center for a few years at a couple of different times, and it's a cool building. It's a great building. It's a beautiful building.
They said that 5,000 employees are employed in that building, and they're all basically working from home now.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
And I think that was one of the gist of the stories is that for the last year, most of GM's and white collar employees have been working from home, and they will continue to work from home until at least June or July of this year.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it's a trend that's going to change. In fact, the wife and I went out to dinner just a little while ago before we did the show. Chris, and I think some of you who are watching this know that I've been working from home for 3 years now, just as the nature of my job. That's why I have this beautiful office that I have here. But my wife also is now working from home. Like a lot of you, she's been working from home. And we realized if they say, no, you need to come back into the office, a lot of people are going to say, guess what? I'm not coming into the office.
Yeah.
I'm doing a better job here for you while I'm not there. Don't don't micromanage me and all that bullshit. And I think it's a new renaissance of productivity as the American worker.
Mm-hmm.
That's not just me in the tech sector, Chris, you in the tech sector, my wife in the retail sector, but just globally.
Back. So
it makes sense for Mary Barra. Hey, Manny's back. So I think it would make sense for Mary Barra, being as sharp as what I believe she is, to say, you know what? We got this. What did I say?
Barra.
Am I saying Barra? Oh, yeah. It's because I'm drinking the Barra.
Manny, when you dropped off, I was talking to Jason about the article I read recently. Today, I think it was today that said that back in 2019, Mary Barra was considering they're trying to offload the Renaissance Center to Dan Gilbert. And then recently she went back kind of saying that, the Renaissance Center is GM's home. We're on the Detroit River. This is where we're staying, because I think it was another article that said that.
That's why he left, to get another beer. I guess I'll do the same. Be right back. Keep talking, Chris.
That GM
That's why I left.
That GM is considering bringing back their employees from home in June or July of this year, because they employ 5,000 employees at the Renaissance Center. And the Renaissance Center has essentially been sitting kind of empty.
As have all office buildings.
Exactly.
It's going to be a business call. I know that a lot of. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I know that, like, so was it Whitmer wants companies to come back by and start staff the offices again by May, June. Ford is basically going to just be indefinite. And I think the timeline for GM last year was May or June.
Yeah, they said June last year. They said they were going to tell all their employees to stay home till June. So it's.
I think it'll reopen. It's going to reopen at limited capacity as all things, because more than anything, GM's just going to they're going to mitigate the liability first and foremost, and then from there we'll see.
I would encourage anybody who's watching this stream right now or in replay to escalate my next statement to your senior leadership and encourage them to look at the data. Look at the data, not your gut, not your feelings, not your policies. Look at the data of your productivity in the past year. If your productivity has stayed steady or has increased, then do not reinforce you got to come into the office so I can micromanage you and you can govern yourself accordingly with office politics and water cooler chat and wasting time and getting away from your cubicle and all that BS. Look at the data. I'm willing to bet that if you take a hard look at the data and separate the facts from the emotion and separate the policies from the details and the data, you will see that most of the American workers do just fine working from home, and let them continue to work from home and do their damn job and keep America running. That's my argument.
I think
I work better from home than I have ever in any office. My wife works for Dollar General headquarters. She works better from home in the past year than she has going into the office. She hates going into the office now because she can't get as much done. And Mary, take a look at those numbers. You're a data person. We met you, Chris. You and I got to sit and chat with you guys with her for, God, I don't know how many hours at Camaro.
Three of us did.
We all did.
Me and
years
Manny
ago
at the New York Auto Show, we got to interview her.
Even before she was who she is right now, when she was just in General Motors, we had to just sit and chat with her. She's a smart person. She didn't get to where she's at by being dumb. So I'm sure she's looking at the data and, shoot, man, you got to save some money, save some rent, save some utilities. Sell it to Dan Gilbert. He's buying everything anyway. He's going to get it one way or another.
Yeah, but remember,
that's my argument.
Dan's kind of a zombie because he had the stroke.
Well, you know.
You might have missed the statement that I made while you were off getting your beer, though. Because in 2020, he was worth $7 billion. In 2021, he's worth $70 billion. Not bad for a dead guy.
Oh, he bought the dip, did he?
No, he went public.
Yeah.
Rock Financial, Rock family of companies, which is 60, 70 companies in Detroit, including Quicken Loans, went public. I jumped on that shit. It was almost like a GameStop thing. It shot up a few days ago. It went, whoa! And I'm like, I'm thinking about selling. I'll make like $1,000. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then I didn't, and then went back down. So
yeah.
Anyway,
it got pumped. Right. You got to put limits on that thing.
Yeah, it's still not doing bad. But here's the deal: as I believe in Dan Gilbert, I always have ever since I started working for him. I believe in his mission. I believe in what he instills in his family of companies. I'll say that. But back to car stuff. Oh, in fact, Dan was one of the first people that I knew that had a C7 Corvette. And I actually, when I shared that elevator ride with him, when I realized, I'm like, holy crap, I'm in an elevator with Dan Gilbert, my ultimate boss.
Was this car a Z06?
No, it was just a standard C7, but he had one months before anybody else did, and it was parked in the CompuWare building in the basement. And the only reason why I knew that is because I used to do van pulls into work. And I saw it. I'm like, looking at under the cover, I'm like, that's a C7 Corvette before they're released. And he had one. So I'm in the elevator with Dan Gilbert. This is 2013, 2012. I don't remember. And I'm like, and he's like this tall on me, and I'm not a tall guy. He is an absolute fist of a human being. He's just a dude. And he had a slice of pizza in his hand on a napkin like this in his hand. And I get on the elevator, and he's just standing there. I'm like, holy shit, Dan Gilbert. I'm like, hey, Dan, how's it going? He goes, how you doing? I'm good. I said, first thing I thought of was like, I like that new Corvette of yours in the parking complex down there. I take the van pool. I saw it. I can tell what it is under the cover. And he goes, it's about time America made a damn good performance vehicle compared to Ferrari and Porsche. This is when he was worth about $6 billion. So, sounds like a man who knows.
It's a man who knows. And honestly, like I was going through. I think this was some old automotive industry predictions that I wrote, and I'm talking like this was 5-6 years ago, and I wrote down, and I'll share it with you guys, that Gilbert was going to get the Renson.
Oh yeah,
I think he's going to.
All right, it's never too late. Dan,
I mean, like,
he suffered that stroke, and he's a sharp dude. He's a to the point guy.
Well, he's got people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got good people.
Well, the CEO of Quicken Loans, I used to have a meeting with him every Friday. And he's a sharp guy.
Yeah.
So even though I don't work for them anymore, and I haven't worked for them in 6 years, I still believe in that overall enterprise, the Rock Financial Companies. It's saved Detroit, I think, to a degree.
800-333 ROCK.
Oh wow, that's an old.
That's an old one.
God, I was thinking about the riff the other day. I was thinking about Drew and Mike and all that.
I listen to their podcast every day.
Drew passed away, right? Oh, it's Mike. Mike passed away.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike passed away. Every now and then, I'll think of something that he said, bitch, that sort of thing.
They still play all his old drops. They play a lot of the old drops. It's great.
In fact, Chris, I think that was what made me think of it, was an old drop of something they used to do that they probably couldn't get away with now, just because of
cancel culture.
Yeah. The way that I look at it is, and I might be going out on a limb here, but my purpose in life isn't to ruin someone else's, but it's also not to live for someone else's. And that's how I'm starting to get kind of forced into looking at things. That's it.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We've
had some good, typical of our sessions that we have every week, give or take. We start solid. We start off work business. We're going to talk about the news, and then about halfway through, we get into the beers, and we start getting into some cool discussion. This is what makes this show great. We encourage everybody. Please share this. Manny, what?
I said I'm letting you steer, man.
All right, great. Please, if you're watching this, share this out, because this is the kind of thing we are. If we could be together in the same garage, we would be. And if we could have you in that garage with us, we would love to. We can't, unfortunately, because that's the nature of things. But the point of this show is to talk about automotive news.
Yes, that
automotive news.
Automotive
and also
news.
Have some good discussion. So please, if you find this valuable, please share it out to everybody else.
That is not boring.
Do not read. There's the reason why, Manny, you started Muscle Cars and Trucks is because you instilled in me and Chris that there are so many news outlets when it comes. Pardon me. When it comes to automotive news, you can read about, oh wow, Honda or Hyundai or Kia came out with a new seat belt or whatever. Manny, what's one thing you will not write about?
We will not write about boring cars.
No, in fact, everything we've talked about is just a snippet of what's available out there. So we encourage everybody to share this out. Tune in. Again, we love doing this. We love having beers because it's quite honestly, it's an excuse for me to get out of the garage and have a couple beers with my friends. We want you to do the same thing.
Before we go, I want Manny to kind of give us a sneak peek as to what is coming this week.
That's where I was going.
What should readers be looking forward to this week?
So this week, and we're talking, when we say this week, you mean next week?
Yeah, this upcoming
week.
The upcoming week. Upcoming week.
We will have
like a couple of days
daylight savings time week.
Oh no, that's happening.
Right.
Oh no. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm the Kool-Aid man now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We had a lot of interviews this week, and ranging from everywhere from Chevrolet Performance Engineers to Reeves Callaway to Jeep executives. And when I say Jeep executives, I'm talking CEO and Vice President North America executives. We will have sound bites and quotes and all sorts of details from those conversations starting as soon as this weekend and then going all into next week. They will be exclusive. They will be exclusive to musclecarsandtrucks.com. That is until anyone else parrots it out. And so that is what it is. We like the link juice. It's fine. We've kind of become an authority overnight. We've become a force to reckon with in no time at all. And that's not by accident. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Chevrolet performance parts on Chevy trucks. We're going to talk what's going on with Callaway. We're going to talk about what's next with Callaway. We're going to talk about what to expect or not expect from Callaway. We're going to talk about the Jeep Wagoneer, a little bit of insight on some questions that I asked regarding the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. And by the way, separate vehicles, or they're being treated separately. So
you sounded almost like Trump right there. And by the way, did I tell you? They're separate vehicles. They're separate vehicles.
By the way,
did I tell you?
Did I tell you that they're separate vehicles? Okay. Okay.
Well done. You guys watch? Do you guys watch Steven Crowder by any chance on YouTube? Do you know who he is?
No.
I've heard the name.
I've
never watched.
He's a certain type of YouTuber, political guy, but without getting too political, he was largely pro-Trump. I haven't watched him in a while, but even then, he still had an awesome impression of Trump, and he did not hold back on that. Kind of like you did, Manny. Well done.
We're gonna have the best SUVs. They're gonna be made in America. Okay.
Oh wait. And did I tell you? Did I tell you? By the way.
And by the way,
I'm gonna drive 10 of them at the same time.
I know more about Jeep than the generals do. Believe me. Believe me.
That's right. Whether you pro or anti-Trump, that's not the point. He does sound like that. He does sound like that. You could tell when he would go off sketch. He's like, this and this. And by the way, did I tell you that I've got a 12-inch penis? I'm just gonna say that out loud. I'm just gonna put it in there. Just so you know. Just so you know, it's good for you. It's good for me. I like it. My wife likes it. Melania likes it.
Come on, Melania.
Oh, man.
Do we got any Corvette C8 news coming anytime?
I was gonna say let's shift. I saw this other article.
So just Spy Photos confirmed our original report from last year that the C8 Z06 is going to have 345 section rear tires.
I saw
and
that.
The tire is going to be Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2Rs. We had that scoop really early.
Long time ago.
We were talking about Cup 2Rs, and we were talking about center mounted exhaust, and we were talking about big wings way before anyone else could even get a sniff. And that's just what we do.
Maybe I'm a couple steps behind, which is expected.
Okay.
I'm looking at the what'd you say? Okay. But I'm looking at the article about this on Muscle Cars and Trucks, and I'm seeing a 21-inch wheel. Is that common on C8s?
You're talking about a 21-inch diameter.
Yeah, I'm looking at the article, and I zoomed in on that tire, the Michelin. It's a 345/25/21. That's a 21-inch tire. Is there a 21-inch tire on the C8 currently? Yeah, 345 ZR21.
The wheel's 21, not the tire. Or excuse me, the rate tire's 21. The radial is what's the radial? What's R?
It just said 345/25 ZR21.
That's a 21-inch wheel.
Yeah.
That's a 21-inch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 21-inch in diameter. Like on my C6 Z06 down below me, which I still love that car.
That might be a first. I don't know of any Corvettes that had a 21.
That's what I'm saying. Is it going to have
Massive.
This is a stretch, but the reason why I went, hey, Galtzar, what's up? Woohoo, G-Man.
Galtzar.
So
You're late.
I don't want to keep talking about my car, but I'm using it as a basis. Okay, it's 2 generations before the C6 Corvette. My C6 Corvette had, what was it, 18s and 19s or something like that, front to rear, and then I went 19 and 20. I went 19 and 19 because I wanted a little bit of fatter sidewall. I wanted a little more traction. I wanted a little more grip, and I love it that way. So here's the thing: could it be that the Z06 has a larger diameter wheel, but also, I'm making stuff up right now, so just bear with me, a larger wheel well to put a larger diameter tire on it too, so they can have a larger wheel, fatter tire for grip and all that junk?
I gotta say yes. This is also like internally they're just calling it wide body, and so like they're gonna have.
And did I tell you it's gonna be a wide body? It's gonna be wider than any body it's ever been.
Let me tell you about the wide body Corvette. Okay, it's gonna have a center exit exhaust, big wings,
the biggest wing you've ever seen.
The biggest wing.
I promise you.
Believe me, the biggest wings, more wings, 3 different wings. Okay, we're gonna have 21-inch wheels. Okay. On the rear, you're going to have the biggest, widest tires you've ever seen on a Corvette, okay? It's
not bad. Not bad.
It's going to be rad. It's going to be rad.
It's gonna be, you know what? I tell you what. If any president says it's going to be rad, you got my vote.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't think I could see Barry saying that, but like I don't think the octogenarians
Barry
of like
Brock.
Barry would have said rad.
Let me tell you something. Here's the deal. It's gonna be rad.
That's good. That's good.
It's gonna be really rad.
That's good.
When you go into your dealership, you're gonna say, "Give me the rad car," and they're gonna give it to you.
That's really good. Let me be perfectly clear. Chevrolet is going to sell you a Corvette Z06 with a center-mounted exhaust, a big rear wing, and 345 section rear tires.
And it's going to be rad.
There will be, under the hood, a DOHC V8 engine, naturally aspirated. None of that hybrid stuff.
Well done. Tell you what, Barry did have a good delivery.
It's going to be a kick-ass car.
So back to the article. I'm looking at the article. I mean, oh man, what do we have even an idea of what the next Z06 is going to cost?
Not much more than what we're currently seeing. Honestly,
we're not seeing much.
What I'm saying is, C7 Z06 started at what, 70?
That was a phenomenal machine, supercharged, all that junk.
America, baby, for the money, 70 grand, you got 650 horsepower. No one else is doing that. No one else can do that. You're getting like Hellcats. You're getting 700 horsepower for 60 grand. No one does that except America.
America, baby, survival of the fittest.
It's America, baby. We know what you like, and we're going to give it to you.
And by the way, did I tell you, we're going to give you more than you need. Trust me. I promise you.
You're going to love it. So
I don't want to make this political, but
I know. But
gosh, we've lived some interesting few years for a long time.
What stage of the fall of empires is this, by the way? I think it's
the beginning of the end.
I think it's the. Yeah, well, I was going to say it's maybe in the middle of it. But
All I know is that I've got a tremendous amount of ammunition that I could sell for a whole lot of money, and I'm not going to.
okay, we can't drive ammunition, so back to the Corvette.
But if I have enough ammunition and you don't, I can drive your car. It's a theory I came up with about 10 to 15 years ago. It's called protecting your ham from the hamless. If you have a ham and I don't, but I have ammunition, then I have ammunition and your ham.
That is
wow.
That's the golden rule, isn't it?
Don't mess with me.
That's the golden rule, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm making shit up. You know why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We got to wrap this up.
This is the time of the episode where we realize we're off the deep end as car guys.
This is completely Jason's fault.
I'm the one that advocated, hey, let's keep it to an hour. We got to stay strict.
Let's keep it to an hour. And then all of a sudden, we're all doing presidential impersonations.
All right. So we appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us because this is going to happen with our show. We're going to,
especially Goldsar.
Gee, man. Gosh, man. You're all right. We talked about what we're going to have next week. So we, again, encourage everybody, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to the Muscle Cars and Trucks newsletter, please feel free. There's plenty of opportunities on the website. Find the thing, put your email address in, and you will get a daily newsletter of all the articles you might have missed. And you can skim them and read them in 10 seconds or less. That's the goal anyway. Otherwise, it's going to be, gee, man, you're awesome. Thank you always for checking in with us. Because I know that the time difference makes it pretty early, if I remember right.
Very.
It's late. It's early. It's the middle of the afternoon. Who knows?
All I care about is it's Friday night, and thank God for the weekend. Encourage everybody. Enjoy your weekend. As we always say, buckle your safety belts. Do not drink and drive. Drink at home. And just look at your car in the garage like I do. Manny, parting shots. Parting shots.
Parting shots. We got a lot coming next week.
You've been working hard, man. Thank you. Chris.
I do what I can.
Parting shots.
I don't know. Make sure you get enough sleep this weekend because, we have daylight savings time.
Chris, what's the last video you made about food?
Habanero Tostitos.
Oh! I made ramen noodles today.
We just bought some ramen noodles for the first time in like 15 years.
No. I made from scratch ramen noodles.
Oh, no. We bought the 25 cents per package ramen noodles.
Can't beat that.
We wanted to remember what it was like to be in college.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I should have bought like a ramen noodle pack and just like by comparison, just be like, okay, this took me like all day to make. Tastes good.
Do you want me to go down and get mine?
I want to like just be like, and then this is like 50 cents, and it's just like, okay, this tastes good too. It's like, is this worth the 8-9 hours of work I put into it?
It tastes good.
You know what? Here's what you can do. Go to Target and you can buy a wok. The wok. The
yeah.
Thing. Yeah. And you can make, $4 worth of food for $17.99 every other day. Or you could just go and just order Chinese and just pick it up and take it home and eat it and shut up.
I don't know, man. You got to try this stuff. It's really good.
Well, send it on down to Nashville, Mr. Detroit man.
Manny, I gotta give you. I gotta give you a packet of the 4 times spicy Sam Yang ramen noodles.
Yeah. Yes. I will. I saw that video of you in video. I will do that challenge.
Yeah, it's actually quite delicious, but it is spicy as hell.
Okay.
I did the 1 chip challenge, and that was the spiciest thing I've had by a long shot. And I'm still standing.
Yeah.
Wait, Chris, what are you
Yeah.
talking about again? Tell me again.
The 4 times Sam Yang spicy noodle challenge.
Well, where I'm going with this is we should do this all together
Oh boy.
on a show. I'll do it. I just got to get my hands on something.
I've done it many times. It's
4
delicious.
times Sam
It is
Young.
delicious. It's just
Young.
it will set you on fire.
Goldstar, do you want to do it too?
G-Man, you want us to send you some?
Oh God.
He has no idea what we're talking. Well,
No,
maybe,
he
I don't
does.
know.
Yeah, I think he does. He wants to see us eat spicy ramen and
You
die.
said- Chris, you said it's 4 times Sam. I'm not a spicy. I like it, but I'm not a follower. 4 times Sam
Yang.
Yang, Y-A-N-G.
Yeah.
Is it 2
Okay.
S's?
All right.
It's a Korean noodle.
Ooh. All right, let's give this. Oh wow, there's a whole lot of YouTube videos about it, so it must be pretty potent. Oh, I found it on the Amazon. 4X spicy noodles. Sam. Oh wow, there's a whole lot of fire on the. No, screw you guys. No.
He said Goldstar tried it, not that spicy.
Oh yeah, Mr. Man.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I did the
Great.
2 times, the 4 times. That's
Well, wait. Is there? There's 2X. Is there
4X.
more X?
yeah.
All right. Well, let's set the precedence here. What are we gonna do? And are we gonna make G-Man? I don't know. Are you looking at this? G-Man.
He says it's not that spicy.
Okay. Well, we can make it G-Man, so you can join our show with your webcam. Would you like to do that? Since you're a regular, you're part of the crew. You're in.
No, there's
I'm
one
waiting.
thing I've tried that I'll never try again, and that is
The chocolate?
world's hottest chocolate. I can't do that again. It's
Oh come on.
that
Mr.
was too bad. I would rather eat 5 of the one chips.
Well, it was. Oh, so he's backtracking now. He says, "Well, it was spicy."
Well,
We really
world's
should.
hottest chocolate was horrible.
We really should. You get on Amazon. Chris, what should I order? I'll order some right now.
It's a Sam Yang.
The 2X.
2X or 4X. They once you get past 2X, I mean, it's just like
It all tastes like fire.
It's like eating burning.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm looking on Amazon, G-Man in the U.S. here. I got a 2X is pack of 5 is $10.
Yeah.
Buy now.
Oh my God! I found a YouTube video
Bam!
of a guy doing 10x nuclear fire noodles and the 1 chip challenge.
Oh God.
Well, some people are just
people
like to hurt themselves. So I just ordered some. $10
already
for 5.
I think I've got a couple packets left here.
All right. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this in the show. Do not have a webcam. Do we have to order you a webcam now? Jeez, oh Pete. So here's the deal. The 3 of us. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy this. Chris, I know you will because you do this
God.
constantly. We're gonna do. I don't even know why I'm saying this out loud. We're gonna do this in an episode. If not next week, the next week after that. We're gonna start by eating some, and we're going to eat it throughout the conversation, talking about the latest and greatest automotive news. It's
No,
this is
like hot ones.
Yeah, it'll be like hot ones.
Don't know, but sounds good.
It's like hot ones.
Except we're starting with the hottest.
So be it. It is what it is. All
Let's
right, guys.
go.
Thank you all for tuning in to. Look, I could see my camera bounce when I. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of MuscleCarsAndTrucks.com and the Gears and Beers Show with Chris and Manny.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you all. Again, buckle your safety belts. Do not drink and drive. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy your cars. And do not read about boring car crap.
You shouldn't.
Cheers to
Manny,
that.
Correct me on that.
Cheers, guys.
Don't read about boring
Good enough.
cars.
Have a good week.
All right.
We'll see
See you,
y'all later.
G-Man.
Bye.
See you, Wayne.